You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it.
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, folks, we made it. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, WoolDog, sitting with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
The season is upon us.
It's all meaningful games from this point out, but let's not forget Kyle, the coach Duggan.
It's cut season, too. These guys are...
It is cut season.
Wild stuff that affects us directly.
Time.
We'll get to, but geez, what brutal.
That's right, folks. We've got the final preseason game to talk about, some moving and shaking happening around the league. We got a fan focus lined up and an Ask Boltfam, but let's start off here at the top, folks, talking about this last game against the San Francisco 49ers. Chargers winning, baby, 23-12. We like to see it, preseason or otherwise. Makes you feel better, the next day, walking away from a win.
It makes it more fun to go back and watch again.
Oh, easily. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what happened during this game. Now, initially, week 2, we saw Easton Stick handle the entire game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This week, we thought, okay, well, this is Max Duggan's game, right? To come out and play the whole game. Not so, sadly. I mean, we saw Easton Stick come out there and did okay. It was still kind of some concerning, frantic, stressful moments.
He had one pass where they were about to score, and he was like rolling out and threw a terrible pass that was almost picked.
Picked off.
Dude, it's like the same thing that happened last game, where it's like the panic, like gotta make it happen, and you just got to get rid of the ball. Don't take the sack, like kick the field goal. You know what I mean?
Right. And the thing that is wild to look at for this stat, I mean, the Chargers won 23-12. Passing yardage was only 38 yards.
That's insane.
That's
38 between Easton and Max.
They ran the shit out of the ball.
They did. I mean, both from a quarterback and the running back perspective, they just ran more yards than they threw.
Yeah,
which is just wild to see. I mean, and Easton Stick had 2 sacks for 15 yards. I mean, Easton only averaged, he had 11 attempts, only averaged 3.5 yards per catch. He was 9 for 11. Max Duggan was 4 for 9. Only threw 15 yards from Max Duggan. That's just a crazy thing to see.
You are not seeing what our offense is going to be by any means.
Giving you
they're not showing anything. You have no idea what is to come.
Can't see nothing.
This is it feels like we went into the preseason with a very intentional purpose of we need to get better at running the football. Mm-hmm. And that's where all of the attention went, was we need to learn how to run the football. And
Horvath got a run too. Am I right? That's
right.
An I formation. They were really going after it. I liked what I saw.
That was the 4th down attempt that we saw the Chargers go for it, and Horvath came in and
give it to the big guy. That's
right.
4th down. Give it to the freaking fullback. Let's go.
I mean, speaking of run game, I mean, holy cow, Joshua Kelly, where you been all my life?
Isn't it cool that every game there's a new awesome guy? They all kind of took turns having great games.
Mm-hmm.
It was, it was Dotson, then it was Spiller, and now it's 75 yards for Josh Kelly. Yeah. He only ran the ball twice, and he had that 75-yard touchdown, which was amazing.
That was just wild to see him go off to the races. And Max Duggan being the second leading rusher.
He's fast.
He can run. He's no joke. He can run. And it was what's cool is that Tyler Hoosman had a huge game.
Mm-hmm.
It's you could it feels like putting anyone back there and there's holes. It's going to
work. It's going to work.
You don't have to fit a specific type of runner to be successful in our offense.
Right.
You look at the Cowboys and what they were able to do with not just Zeke Elliott, but other people popping up on the scene, because the style is very running back friendly style of running. It's find the hole, get downhill, not get to the side, get to the side, get to the side. Hopefully something opens up. Oh, nothing opened up. Oh, now you're screwed. So
2 yards.
It's pretty fun.
I love when I see guards pulling, dude. It's just the train wrecks.
They
that
love
happen.
it too.
They do. It's fun. I remember loving it when I played. So the fact that they're doing that a lot. a lot of these traps, a lot of this stuff going on, they're really pulling these guys, and that's a lot of meat coming at you. So watch out.
Yeah, a lot of big boys running around. Can't wait to see. That's the other thing too that everybody kind of made point was that Chargers won 23-12. That whole like first quarter, if not further,
it was the 49ers
starters against the Chargers backups. Like, Brock Purdy was the one that was running the quarterback, and I mean, very shortly before that, we heard that Trey Lance was going to the Cowboys. So it's like, this is all your main guys. Like, Christian McCaffrey didn't play, but like, and I think
Kittle was out there.
Kittle was out there. Debo was out there. Like, there was some first stringers going out there, and yet the Chargers still pulled the double way.
They kind of did move the ball a little bit on us, but that was to be expected. But we answered with that fumble in the end zone.
The fumble in the end zone, that was so good.
Great. So yeah, it was definitely fun to see kind of how they, we talk about it every week is the depth and how they're competing with those starters. And that was a great point.
What do you guys think though? I saw a little bit, I watched a couple of games throughout the weekend, and there was definitely a lot of starters that were even in New York for the Jets. Like Aaron Rodgers was out there.
Yeah, he got out there.
They had number ones that are undoubtedly the number one guy getting rep. We didn't have a single guy. Not like our offensive line, a couple guys in there, but no, they didn't even travel. They didn't even fly to the game, except for Justin Herbert.
I think Coach may be doing a hard shift from what happened to him at that Broncos game. He's really evaluated the end of the season.
Is, no, that's not what we did this last year too. But they didn't play in the preseason. Justin Herbert hasn't played in the preseason in several years. Yeah. So like you have this conservative mentality, and then in the week 17 or week 18, when it doesn't mean anything, you're still playing. Like it just was a little bit confusing. So, but do you think? Do you guys? It sounds like Kev, you like the idea of not playing them at all.
It didn't bother me whatsoever. Like I want to see these other guys get a chance. So the fact that I want to know, just as a fan, I want to be more informed on this team, and the fact that I now know what Easton Stick's all about, I now can worry about that if Justin needs to hop out, because I've seen him play, two full games essentially.
Right.
So I like seeing that. I like seeing the opportunities for these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that in the past, and I get the mentality of like, yeah, we got to put the first stringers out there. They got to get the rust off, kind of get loosened up. Oh,
fly!
Did you?
Totally missed it.
Wax on, wax off.
I don't have my chopsticks.
No chopsticks handy.
I'm gonna slap the shit out of this thing if it comes at me again now.
But I don't think I think that that's just not a thing. I mean, considering how these guys are playing during practice, get it.
It's slow. It's a slow fly, and I still can't get it. I don't have it, boys. 3 days in Vegas, my brain doesn't work.
I mean, they've got those like practice scrimmage games and stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's necessarily rust per se with these players and needing to go out there and play in a preseason game. I was with everybody else wondering like, why are we playing some of these guys in that week 17 game? And sure enough, we see Mike Williams get an injury, and that's not what you want to see. I mean, God forbid you throw any of those first stringers out there. I mean, we've seen plenty of players that are getting injured in these preseason games that just don't matter. And like season ending or like even career ending. I think, what did I see? Was like the center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a knee injury, and he's
severe.
That's his career. He's done. Like,
yeah,
it's
you don't usually get the GM or the owner or whatever say he's done.
Yeah,
like that's how severe the injury was. That was scary.
So I think the idea of not risking it in a game that does not matter, when it's really trying to figure out who's going to make this team. Who are some of the guys that would come out and be, shining bright stars that could like kind of burst through and find a spot on the roster. So yeah, I'm with it. What about you, Kyle? I mean, like, what do you feel like?
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth. I feel like there's certain situations that would have been nice to have. It would have been nice to have some of the guys out there playing, especially with the new system. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like the several years that have gone by now, even on the defensive side of the ball, it's like, oh, they don't know the X's and O's. They're not comfortable. Like, well, then you got to play. It would have been nice to see some of these guys that are still acclimating to the defense. So they say, like JC Jackson, I know he's coming off the injury. I get it. He needs the time, but like getting him in there for a couple, like a series, maybe. I don't know. And does it really do anything? You look around at some of the successful teams that aren't dealing with injuries all the time, and they had guys playing on this last weekend. So, I mean, I don't think there's a right or a wrong. It's just what your philosophy is on it. I would have enjoyed seeing him out there a little bit, but I'm okay with them not getting hurt too. But
Definitely.
if that's your philosophy, don't play him in week 17 against a team that doesn't mean anything.
I agree 100%. I mean, the one starter that we did see playing was Quentin Johnston. I mean, he's definitely going to be starting on this team, and we saw him go out there, get a couple catches. Awesome to see.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, on the receiving side, 38 yards. I mean, these guys, these receivers, there's nothing to write home about, like with any of these catches, short of Hunter Kampmoyer, who at least got a touchdown out of all of it. But yeah, weird game to watch in that regard. The rushing yards, I mean, crime and Nitley, like there was over like 260 yards rushing. Like somebody pointed out, and I think it was even you, Kyle, you sent like a message on the Instagram how like this year's preseason Chargers rushed like 500, and 50 or something yards. And in previous preseasons, we only had like 200 for the whole preseason. So like
big difference,
huge difference. I mean, obviously a lot of focus on the run game. And I don't know if that's necessarily to figure out who your running backs are going to be. Obviously Austin Eckler's your main guy, but like who's going to be backing him up? They already cut Roundtree.
Anybody can. If you look at that's why I'm so interested in this cut down, because all those guys had good games. And, especially Dotson being like the backup returner, I kind of see with some really sad news that we're about to talk about, I think there's a chance he, could be out, that he could make this roster.
It's a possibility. Yeah. I mean, and we'll just go right into it too. Well, let's start first with the Daniel Popper tweet, because this was also kind of interesting to hear. Defensive coordinator Derek Ansley called the defensive plays tonight, Brandon Staley said. Ansley got a game ball in the locker room after the game. So for a guy who, Brandon Staley has always been the one that's like, no, I'm calling the defense. I'm calling the defense. Now you let Derek Ansley come in and call the defense on a preseason game. What does that say to you? Like, what does that say to you, Kyle? Like, especially like knowing that having a head coach having to focus so much on an aspect of the football game and not necessarily on the other things that could potentially be more important, allowing Derek Ansley to be the one to call the plays. What does that do for Brandon Staley if he allows him to do that during any of the regular season games?
Yeah, I like that idea. I don't think that's what he was trying to do.
No.
I think he's trying to develop leaders, right? Like part of being a good employer is building people up in areas and training them how to do stuff so that they're more equipped down the road. I think that's really all there was. I remember early preseason week 1, I want to say it was, the Titans had an assistant head coach that did the whole game, and Vrabel just stood there and watched.
Wow, really?
As a way of like allowing on-field like opportunities to be in those situations and learn and grow. And Kev, get it?
Oh, I caught it. Oh shit!
Okay, eat it.
Sorry.
Get it.
Sorry for those of you not watching. It's just terrible podcasting.
Yeah.
I'm catching flies.
Yeah, I don't think he's trying to by any means say that he's not going to call the plays. I think that was this is a good training for Derek in the future. If something were to happen to me, then he has at least a little bit of experience under his belt. I think that's all it is.
Interesting. That's a good call. Well, obviously it paid off because finally we saw a freaking interception with
it was close.
Henley coming in.
I called 2, but I'll take the 1.
1 is fine. I mean, and it was kind of a team effort. If you've watched the replay, it's like kind of like Derek kind of gets it, but he's like kind of bobbling it, and then it was a Cam Brown kind of like gives it to him. And like in the effort of giving it to him, it's like he just kind of gets swept up by a wave of like 49ers. It's almost kind of funny to watch, but like that's an unsung hero for, players like that to come in and get, it's not about me. It's about making the play. So here, you take the ball. I'll take the 2 49ers down and you run it back for however many yards you can get.
It was kind of cool with like, I think Deion Henley is going to be a really good football player.
It's exciting, dude.
He's been consistent in all 3 of these games, and he's getting more confident. You can feel the confidence, especially in coverage. Like, man, a linebacker that good in coverage, like it's exciting.
Yeah, and we've already been hearing about guys being waived. Prior to today, we heard about Cam Brown getting waived. Ian Rappaport tweeted out today, this isn't a wave, but this is let's wet our beaks a little, because Cameron Dicker won the Chargers kicking job.
Yes.
And instead of just waiving Dustin Hopkins and sending him off into the sunset, he was traded to the Browns. The Bolts traded Dustin Hopkins to the Browns for a 2025. That's so hard to read sometimes. For a 2025 7th-round pick, meaning Cameron Dicker will be the Chargers kicker in 2023.
You know what's crazy about that is that we picked him up off the waiver wire. We didn't trade for him.
No.
So we brought him in. He kicked well for
him.
us. And then we got a 7th-round pick. Isaiah Simmons, he was a 7th-round pick that they got, whoever that trade happens. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. The Cardinals got a 7th-round pick.
Like, we got it for our
Yeah.
backup kicker, our other kicker. We got a 7th round for, like,
right.
Ninja. Let's go.
Yeah. Getting a little something for, I mean, it's weird to say that we had an embarrassment of riches in the kicking department, because that feels like it's been such a struggle for us in previous years.
Yeah.
But now we had 2 really good kickers and ended up trading one off and getting a 7th rounder, which I know in 2 years, but still, I know a lot of people will turn their nose up at a 7th round pick, but like, hey man, look at Brock Purdy, dude. Mr. Irrelevant is out there and he's the starting QB for that team. So
we also just cut our 7th round pick. So.
Oh, way to jump the gun, Kyle.
Speaking of 7th round picks,
Tom Pelissaro tweeted out the Chargers are waiving rookie quarterback Max Duggan per source. The former TCU star will be an interesting one to watch on the waivers.
I don't think he's going to make it to our practice squad. I hope he does.
But who's going to put him on their active roster with the preseason that he put out there? It's not like he put out impressive tape. I don't think he's going to make it. He would have to make an active roster. If you claim him off waivers, you have to activate him.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just claim him and put him on your practice squad or something.
No. If you claim him off waivers, he is on your 53 man. So I think he's going to clear waivers fine, and he'll end up on our practice squad.
You think so? Because
other teams could still sign him from the practice squad.
He could be signed to another practice squad for sure.
They could still do that, but I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to pick him up off the waivers. Like,
no.
But it is interesting to see too that, like,
2 quarterbacks. We're not going with 3 this year.
Well, we're definitely not going with 3. That is absolutely a narrative.
Well, I guess maybe, like, who knows if we don't go pick up somebody that was cut as the 3rd guy. If there was, like, I saw something on social media of what is somebody that
Colt McCoy just got cut, didn't he? From
Colt McCoy. The Arizona Cardinals are
they're imploding,
folding
right now.
up the tents right now.
Yeah,
they are wanting that number 1 pick next year because they have no quarterback. Kyler Murray is on the PUP list, so he's not playing for 4 weeks.
Yeah,
they cut Colt McCoy. They have a 5th round pick, or they just traded for what's his face from the Cleveland Browns. Oh man, the guy that has no eyebrows. I can't think of his name.
I don't know.
Oh man, come on guys, you got to help him. Josh Dobbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Eyebrows, got it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, he doesn't. That's a great way to describe it. How many people in the NFL don't have eyebrows?
Good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's who they're going. They just traded for him this week, and that's going to probably be their starting quarterback. So yeah, Cardinals are a bit of a show right now.
Yeah. So so the narrative of like the Chargers only holding on to 2 QBs, that's good to see because now it's freeing up a spot for some other player in some other position to add to the roster. The other thing that I think is interesting is that, like, I can't remember the last time Chargers drafted somebody and then waived them prior to the season starting. Like, we mostly held on to our draft picks throughout the season. Like, they might end up on the practice squad, or maybe, there's some moving and shaking that might happen during the regular season, but never like just straight up waiving them. Like, that just is an interesting thing to see. And then Daniel Popper also tweeted out the Chargers cutting tight end Hunter Kampmoyer per source.
I think that Stone Smart. I think that's a reality now.
Yeah,
that could happen. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So he had a great. Didn't Hunter get a touchdown?
Hunter got the touchdown in the last game.
The 2 guys that scored touchdowns, got cut today. So the Chargers really don't care about touchdown production, apparently, but that's fine.
The one thing also that we saw today was Ian Rappaport tweeting out Chargers wide receiver Jalen Guyton, who tore his ACL last September, will begin the 2023 season on the reserve PUP list. Source said he's out the first 4 games, but can begin practicing after 2. So
that's expected. I mean, he hasn't done anything yet this whole training camp.
But it's good to see that they didn't just straight up waive him. Like they're putting him on the PUP list. They're holding on to him because, we haven't had a chance to really see anything from Jalen Guyton in preseason or training camp or anything like that.
It's a nice little workaround to keep him on the team, but not on the roster. So that way you can have those other guys. If somebody does get hurt, boom, week 4 now or week 5. Now you got this guy back up and running.
Right.
4 weeks to try somebody out.
There you go. So we'll see what happens with Jalen Guyton. I'd love to see him still end up on the roster in some capacity just because of the production that we've seen from him in the past. Some of the best catches that Justin Herbert's ever thrown were caught by Jalen Guyton. So you'd like to see him make the team again because you'd like to see that similar production. But we've also got some other pretty studly wide receivers that can come in and fit the bill for at least 4 weeks if he can come back after that 4 weeks. But as per usual, the Charger chat is recording the night before the big news happens as far as the roster. So
You're welcome.
We will, I'm sure as this episode comes up, we'll see a lot more news about who is getting waived, who's making,
I heard a rumor about Friday. Something's starting up again on Friday. What is that, Adam?
Well, in the Charger chat history, we have been known to record 2 episodes a week during the regular season. And so because the news happening on Tuesday is this week, we decided that this Friday we will bring back the 2nd episode. So stay tuned, folks, for 2 episodes per week. Starting this Friday, we will be dropping a 2nd episode, and we will do that going forward. So more of my free time will be gone and given to you folks. So I hope you enjoy it. And we will definitely talk about the roster on this Friday episode for sure. Other bit of news that came out, Austin Eckler recently just got engaged. We've seen him and his
congratulations,
fiance on workout, they worked out together so many times. They're just fitness gurus at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see that, he's engaged to his best friend, and obviously it looks like it's going to be a great relationship. We're happy for you, Austin, and hope that everything just goes great for your wedding. But what's going great for us, folks, is our Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat. We've got 2 new names to shout out from the Patreon. We've got the Salty Cook and Mark Dalio. Crap. Make this bigger.
You typed it.
I know. Shut up. Marco Dalio. Sorry.
Welcome to the party,
Welcome
pals.
to the party. Thank you so much for joining our Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat, where we've got videos weekly that we're always putting up. We're putting up behind the scenes. We've got Coach's Corner now over there at the Patreon. So if you loved Coach's Corner in the past, you can catch it over at patreon.com/ChargerChat. And if you don't want to go over there, that's totally fine. You can go on over to our regular website, chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there, t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the member section and ask questions in Ask Boltfam. So go check out chargerchat.com. If you ever thought, why the heck is my wireless bill so dang high, then let me tell you about Mint Mobile, who we're partnering with for today's episode. You might already know Mint Mobile if you've seen those funny ads from Ryan Reynolds, who's also an owner, but let me quickly tell you about how awesome their service is. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network. They keep costs low because they sell direct to you online. They cut out all the retail stores and the salespeople and things like that. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? It's a good question. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code if you're interested in the best value in wireless. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint also offers a modern family plan that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. Now, I've used Mint Mobile, and I gotta say, everything that they've talked about as far as switching over being extremely easy is 100% true. It was a super easy process, and then once I was switched over, I honestly didn't notice a difference in my performance. All the apps that I typically used, like Twitter and YouTube and things like that, ran exactly the same as they normally did on my previous carrier. Like I said, switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your own home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, that's totally fine. Mint Mobile will ship you a new SIM card for free. It only takes about 15 minutes to switch, and Mint Mobile has great customer service if you need help. And right now, as a special limited time offer, you can get their unlimited plan, which is normally $30 a month, for just $15 a month. That's a 50% savings off their already super low price. It only takes 15 minutes to pay as low as $15 a month for your phone plan. It really is that simple. Use our link mintmobile.com/chargeachat to get started, or click the link down in the description, or scan our QR code. It really helps out the channel. And if you've already made the switch to Mint Mobile, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear about your experience with them. Thank you, Mint Mobile, for being our partner for this episode. Now back to the show. All right, gang, time to go on to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. Let's see what fan we are bringing into focus this week.
All right, guys, we are back with another Fan Focus, and we're super lucky to have Jason from Orange County. What's going on, Jason?
Not much. How you doing, Kev?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to talk with you. We had this meeting set up for a little while now, so finally we're doing your Fan Focus, and I'm excited to learn more about you and your fandom. But let's kick this off the way we always do. How did you become a Charger fan?
Well, became a Charger fan. I was a football fan when I was a little kid. My best friend played football, loved football. Unfortunately, he was a Raider fan.
Boo.
Still is a Raider fan. Yes. And he always just tried to push me into football, and then about middle school time is when, I started to get interested, didn't really know anything, so initially I was a Dolphins fan for 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
Time I was a kid, I was just like, okay, cool. Learned about Dan Marino. I was just like, all right,
Yeah,
this is kind of cool. And then the next year after that, I was just like, I don't want to be a fan of a team that, I can never go see play,
Mm-hmm.
So then it came down to, okay, I've got 3 choices. I could be a Raider fan. No, I could be a Niner fan, but I was like, Niners are all the way up north. I'm in Orange County.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided to become a San Diego Charger fan,
Awesome.
So, and then about 2000, when I started high school, that's when I really started diving deep into becoming a fan.
That's awesome. So you've been a fan for a while now. So what are your thoughts? It's, I asked this question a lot, but what are your thoughts on where we were back then when we were in San Diego, kind of our team, what we were all about, and where we are now, and the kind of what are you excited for the season? What are your general thoughts?
Beyond excited. I'm not going to lie. The greatest era of my fandom is the Marty Schottenheimer days.
Totally.
One of the greatest coaches for this team. It's sad to see what happened to him. That whole run he had was just fantastic. But what we have now is just something special. Truly something special, not only for the team, but for the entire history of the Chargers. We have fantastic players in our history, but we have something special with Herbert, Derwin, Bosa, Mac, and all these new young guys, Quentin, all these guys, they're doing something special. And I see something special on the horizon.
I love that. And then when I ask you, 2 players, one on each side, who are you most looking forward to this season for on defense and offense?
Offense, I want to see Herbert. I want to see what is going to happen. Since Shane Steichen left, I always said, I was just like, why did we let him go?
Yeah.
It just made no sense. He unleashed Herbert. That's why Herbert set all those records, and then afterwards, Herbert kind of regressed. I want to see Herbert unleash. And especially after watching some of these videos of him after getting that contract where he's just taking command of the team. I want to see how that plays out this season. And then for defense, it's kind of a toss-up. It's a toss-up between Derwin and Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, the last couple of seasons, have just been teetering on explosive years. And, with Bosa putting on some pounds, talking about how he, feels that losing that weight really pushed him back, and Derwin's been on the brink. You saw it last year with him running the edge, getting those sacks and, making those picks. Either one of those guys, if they have a fantastic, fully healthy season, either one of them could be Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm with you, dude. And I'm excited for Mac and Bosa for a whole season and what that can do. And then now looking at seen some of these preseason games like Tui Peloto and what Rumph could do for us. Like that's a pretty formidable pass rush on that defensive line that you rotate guys in and out, keep them healthy, keep them fresh.
Oh, most definitely. Yes. Rumph has just surprised
big time, right?
Yeah. So it's exciting to see what that defense can do. I would like to see what a fully healthy, fully understood Brandon Staley defense can do. We know what he was able to do with the Rams, but I think he could do even more with our defense.
I agree. We're coming into that. Was it the third year with him? And he's the couple years we wanted him to come out like swing in, have the best defense, but now he's had time to kind of get his guys in, get the right personnel. So this is a make or break it year for him, and I hope he breaks the shit out of the AFC West and kills everyone. So I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited for the defense. So we were talking a little bit beforehand, and we have something in common. You and I both film school kids. So tell me the story. You started telling it to me, and I had to cut you off because I wanted to hear it while we were recording. But tell me your story.
And so in 2006, I was in film school after high school, and my professor had a connection with ESPN. And for extra credit, he gave us all an opportunity to come work a Charger game. We had no idea what we were going to do. We just basically show up and get a job.
That's awesome.
Well, I showed up. It was a Raider Charger game in San Diego, and my job was, follow this guy, and followed him, went into the stadium. And then next thing I know, I was told I'm going to be a cable jockey for one of the sideline cameramen.
Nice.
So I got to be on the sideline of a Raider Charger game in 2006.
That's prime.
prime time,
Yeah.
Sean Berryman, LT, all the classics.
That's awesome.
So, and one of the greatest moments was there was a play where Drew Brees had basically handed the ball off to LT. I want to say they were on the 12 or 13 yard line. LT broke a couple of tackles and then was tackled right at the goal line, fell over the goal line, and the referees called him down at the 1. And Marty Schottenheimer came running down the sideline right in front of my cameraman, got in the referee's face, and was F-bombs. You don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
What is this? And basically all I heard was the referee, you don't like my call? Throw the flag. And then Schottenheimer just reaches in the pocket and he says, you want the flag? Here you go. And just bloop, drops it right in
Mike
front
drops
of him.
him.
Yep. And it was classic. And they ended up overturning it, calling it a touchdown. And it was just a great moment, and that solidified my fandom. It solidified me being a diehard. And then the cherry on top, at the end of the game, my cameraman comes up to me and he says, so we are going to be interviewing Drew Brees because we got the victory that night.
Nice.
And he gave me all the rules, you're allowed to talk to him. Don't ask him personal questions. Don't ask, for autographs, things like that. He'll give it to you if he wants to. But I had a chance to shake Drew Brees' hands, kind of shoot the shit with him, and it was just a fantastic experience, and I'll never forget it.
I was going to ask you what's your biggest Charger memory, but I think that's probably it. Would that be my guess? So let me ask you, what's been one of your favorite experiences over the last couple years? A game you loved or something like that?
Well, a couple of years ago, I had season tickets. As I mentioned before, I have kids, so unfortunately, I had to let those go.
I feel you, bro.
But went to every game that year. I was there for the Raider Charger game when it was a storm and the lightning hit the building.
Nice.
One of my greatest memories. I still go back to this video. When they tag the Celine Dion song onto the 2018,
Yeah.
2-point conversion
Yeah.
at Kansas City.
Yeah.
There's so many great moments in Chargers history. And if you've been a fan, a diehard for so long, it's really hard to just pick one.
No.
And like I said, looking at the last couple of years since Herbert really came on board, we got so lucky to go from Rivers to Herbert.
Yeah.
The only regret I have is that we didn't keep Rivers one more
just
year.
1 year of overlap. That's all. I'm with you, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the knowledge that Rivers would have given Herbert?
Yeah. No, it's I'm not gonna lie. I've had a dream about that before, and it might make me weird, but I'm willing to admit it, that they were like best friends at a QB room and they were teaching each other stuff. And then I woke up and it didn't happen. So that's what I get. But yeah, dude, it's so exciting, and hopefully we're gonna create a whole bunch of new memories this season. A very exciting time to be a Charger fan, and it was so exciting for me to get to talk to you, Jason. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Oh, of course. Thank you guys. And FTR and K love you bye.
K love you bye.
What a story. What
a
moment in history that you got to be a part of, Jason. Like, you got to witness it. You got to hear things that none of us have had a chance to hear. Yeah. And that is, what a wild moment, dude.
That was cool. Yeah, I really like the Schottenheimer story. I thought that was hilarious. Just mic drop. Just drop it right in your face.
Yeah. You want the flag? I'll give you the flag.
I'll give you the flag.
I got it right here for you.
Yeah.
Suck on this. Yeah, and I'm excited for Bosa too, man. I feel like this is going to be a year we're going to see a completely different Joey Bosa, considering that when it came to light that he was dealing with an injury for years, favoring a side of his body, which inevitably caused an injury for him to have to deal with. I think this is going to be really exciting for Joey Bosa this season.
Yeah, totally.
Big time. So, Jason, thank you so much for coming on and chat with Kev.
Man,
glad you didn't become a Raider fan. Glad you left the Dolphins after 1 year and you got to experience a moment in history that you'll remember forever. That is so cool. Right. Thank you. All right, folks, time to go on to the next segment. Ask Boltfam. Charge.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Bosa hungry.
Your thoughts are totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam. We start off at the top with Bolted Ashaman. Now, Bolted Ashaman's going through some stuff right now. I don't want to get into too many particulars, but he had a very simple request, and far be it from me to not fulfill the request of Bolted Ashaman. So here you go. Can I just get you can do it in the Rob Schneider voice? FTR and Bolt Up.
You can do it.
You can do it. Bolted Ashaman.
You can do it.
Sorry to hear the troubles that you're going through there, bud. But
the Bolts are here in a week and a half.
Yeah,
they're coming.
Something to look forward to.
Keep your mind off of it. So
yeah, for sure.
We got your back, bro.
Absolutely, Bolted Ashaman. Thanks for coming on. Let's move it on now to Rebolted 2006, who asked the question.
Hey, yo, Charger Chat crew. The sun was starting to set and the clock ticked ever so slowly tortilla change time on that fateful Saturday afternoon. Dad, Bolt Up Cat, Mr. Pekka, and Rebolted 2006 all waited, locked hand in hand from different time zones, waiting for Judgment Day. Mr. Pekka let $1 million fish go. bolt-up cat jumped out of a moving van, leaving a new celebrity resident speeding alone in the passenger seat at 65 miles per hour. And Rebolted 2006 let his facility lose $10,000 for not coating IV fluids in time.
Oh my God.
To embark on a journey that would change their lives forever. After answering the call at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and 1 p.m. Pacific Time, fantasy football with the Charger Chat crew and the Craig Experience. What's in store for these three is unknown. Most likely losing to Craig in a 16-person league, but it sure is going to be a great time with great friends. Let the games begin. Thank you again for that. By the way, does anyone else yell Dicker down, baby, or Dicker down the middle to all of Cameron Dicker's kicks? It's the only way I can be serious and a little perverted and then tell the other person they're the perverted one. Huzzah! He is here to stay. Best of luck to D-Hop in Cleveland. Your Denver Monday night performance left an impact none of us will forget. K, love you, bye.
Dicker's here to stay.
Dicker is here to stay.
I like Dicker.
I'm
Dicker
not
down the middle.
excited. I'm not excited to see Hopkins go somewhere else, though. It's like, it's one of those things where it doesn't feel good for me. I mean, he was a good kicker, and it just pray that it doesn't come back to bite us somewhere down the road, that he's the guy that makes
Don't
a
even
big
put
kick.
that out there.
Don't even worry about it, dude. We got
Put
Dicker
that
the
evil
kicker.
on me, Ricky Bobby.
I feel
It's just-
so
it's out
confident
there.
about Dicker. It's good. Everything's
Yeah.
good.
No, I don't feel great about Hopkins leaving, but I feel good for him, for Hopkins, that he's able to go to another team and able to perform and was able to come,
Yeah,
you know,
he's
because
going to Cleveland.
I know I mean, whatever, it's semantics, but I mean, to leave the Washington team,
Yeah,
like, because they let him go. They were just like, we don't want him anymore. They were like,
washed up.
what's his name from Toy Story? He's like, I'm done with you when he drops the Woody doll. Andy, that's his name. When Andy drops Woody, they're just like, I'm done with you, D-Hop. But to come to the Chargers, have success, to throw a game like Rebolted said in that Monday Night Football game, like,
just throwing his leg at the ball.
That's insane to have that kind of performance and that kind of heart. And so for him to land on another team, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, no, if I want to hold on to all the players that we possibly could, but there's a limit, and sadly, he didn't meet the limit. But
thanks for joining the fantasy league.
and
dude.
thanks
It's
for
gonna
joining
be
the
fun.
fantasy football. That is going to be quite an interesting ride. I haven't played fantasy football in 2 years, so I'm excited to get back in and draft and make changes, pick up guys, and
I gotta hit the research.
I got to do
am-
some mock drafts for sure to figure out who I'm going to have on this team.
Just show up. They do it. The research is done for you by Yahoo. It's best available right there. Click
I
it.
guess.
Yes, and let's go.
Unless they're like suffered an injury and Yahoo hasn't updated in time, and they're like, "Oh, you picked a guy that has a season-ending injury.
That's not good.
Congrats!"
But it's also like, I feel like I always do research, and then I end up drafting some weird rookie that I got all excited about, and then he doesn't play or he sucks, and I could have had 4 other guys that did great.
Right.
I feel like you overthink it sometimes.
That's true. All right, something to look forward to. But Rebolted 2006, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Coach Lago, who asked the question.
What is up, bros? You beautiful triumvirate of goofy buttholes. I've been MIA, life and stuff, bros. Shout out to Wifey, Bella, Rory, and future QB1 Remington. Bros, such an exciting, positive off season. Bros, this is the year. I can feel it. Like, really, bros, it all comes together this season. Herbo is that dude, bros. Staley is that coach. Like, come on, bros. Are you ready to eat shit? Unseasoned, moist, brown dookies are coming up. Cause, boys, I'm in the Charger Chat Fantasy Football League, and I'm out for throats. I'm shamelessly positive about winning bragging rights and that signed Ribs jersey. Kickoff is right around the corner against that whack South Florida team we embarrassed last season, and I can't wait. BTFU and K love you bye. It's all love, boys, except with FFB. LOL.
Getting kind of scared of this fantasy league.
I'm not.
I'm nervous.
People are coming to play for keeps. Yeah.
Bragging rights. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I hope I don't embarrass myself.
You probably will.
Just
You will
remember,
too.
folks, we're all on the same team. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And which will also be the problem because everyone's going to draft Chargers. And
I know.
I'm not going to get any
I'm
of the
taking
guys that
Keelan
want.
Doss at the turn.
right.
I'm taking
Let's-
him in the beginning of second round.
Let's just keep the name calling to a minimum. Okay. Like, it's okay to be frustrated, but like, just remember,
Yeah,
we're
bro.
all brothers. We're all
Toe
bros
bros.
in this,
Bros.
okay?
Tell bros.
So don't make us eat shit, bro. Okay. Because like, I don't want to eat Dookie. All right. But thank you.
The wordplay, a beautiful triumvirate of goofy buttholes. That's a t-shirt. Chef's kiss.
Coach Laga, thank you, buddy, for
Thanks, brother.
Didn't really ask a question, but I guess maybe just are we ready? Like, yeah, we're ready. We're as
yeah.
ready as we'll ever be.
It's coming.
Let's move on now to Zachary Shelton, who asked the question.
Hey guys, so recently I was watching a video from the Chargers YouTube channel of Herbert wanting to make golf more exciting by adding an edge rusher to the course, and if you don't get your shot off in time, then he can tackle you on the course. So that got me thinking, if there was one addition you would make to football, what would you add?
I didn't hear him say that. That is aggressive. I like that.
It's fun, though. I like the
It's
idea.
terrifying.
There's a ticking clock, and if you don't get it off, you're getting tackled.
Yeah, shit.
So
Speed the pace of play up. Good. He's been playing some slow rounds. People in front of him really pissing him off.
Yeah, it's like, God, somebody should tackle that guy.
What's the there's
Joey,
like one
go get him.
Go get him.
There's like
Joey.
one golfer right now who takes like 3 minutes for every shot. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's the big goofy goober, but I can see his face. Patrick Cantlay. That's
Yeah.
his name, Patrick
Yeah.
Cantlay. He is, yeah, everyone hates him playing with him because he plays so slow.
It's so brutal. So yeah, we need to get him an edge rusher, but
Sounds
adding
right.
something for football.
Well, do you guys remember the XFL used to do instead of a coin toss? They put a ball at the 50-yard line and you just sprint at it to see who could get there first.
No.
I don't remember that. No.
They would put them like 10 yards apart or whatever, and then they would just sprint at the football, and whoever got it won the toss.
That's kind of fun.
We're
That's-
getting
I
it.
kinda like
Darius Davis. Let's go.
I also thought like if you got down to 4th and 1, you could just go Oklahoma drill, like 3v3, 2 linemen, offense and defense against linebacker, running back, in like close quarters. Just like eliminate all the crap, and it's just Okie drill right on the goal line. I thought that would be pretty fun.
That
I
is
like it.
fun. I like that too.
All really good ideas.
Yeah. With the advent of like the camera, you know, what I don't remember what the camera is, but the one that's like up in
like
the
flies
air.
on the field.
cable
yeah.
If they could have like
Targets,
some American Gladiator-esque like guys up in the air to like catch
Shooting
some
tennis
footballs
balls.
or like maybe drop
Cannonball.
something on
Tennis
some
ball
defense
guns.
guy. Yeah, something like, or just those big Q-tip, you know, jousting things that they could just
Yeah.
like whack a defensive guy off. And
I like that.
That's
Yeah, I
their
feel like
tackle or something like that.
overtime could be way more fun with some American
come on.
Gladiator type stuff.
That's
It's already
awesome.
a bit of a joke.
it really is. Yeah, those are fun. What would you guys do? Put it down in the comments. Let us know. What would you add to football? Because I think that could be some fun ideas. Zachary Shelton, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Swipe of Visuals, who asked the question. Oh my God, guys. Cameron Dicker is our mother freaking kicker. We stole a 7th round pick from the Cleveland Browns. Max freaking Duggan played, and we were so freaking close to week 1. My question is this, boys. Do we keep Trey McKitty, or do we cut ties with him and keep Stone Smart? Because Stone Smart is a smart dude and knows how to block, while Trey McKitty, well, he pulls up with some never mind. We won't go there kind of blocking, you know. Anywho, the Raiders and K-Love you bye. P.S. Just saw the Duggan news. Dadgummit.
That wasn't fun. You see your name up there getting cut by a team. It's just like it felt personal.
Duggan's been waived. I'm doing this on my own, guys. Kevin and
Yeah.
Kyle, you've been waived. No, I couldn't do this without you guys, but
I'd watch it.
let's see. So Stone Smart and Trey McKitty.
Trey McKitty's just not really doing much, man. And it seems to be a kind of a consistent thing. He hasn't performed well during the regular season. He's brought in for blocking. He isn't always, reliable there.
Mhm.
And I think there's something way more interesting about Stone Smart. At least his hands are better.
Right.
And he could do something a little more with that. So
We certainly saw more from him in the preseason. I mean, Trey McKitty, I don't know that we saw anything from him. I mean, unless he did some blocking.
He had a negative 5-yard reception.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. So if you go look at the box,
need on this
if you look at the box
Looking for.
score, it was him, had 1 catch for negative 5 yards. So yeah.
I mean, if you're looking, I feel like it's just, we drafted him so high. He was a 3rd round pick, right?
That's crazy.
So you put a lot into him, and you're just hoping that it's going to eventually pay off. Like,
Right.
maybe this is the season where it all comes together. But from what we've seen so far, it feels like as a fan base, it's like, we know that guy's not the guy. Let's take a flyer on this quarterback converted. We love converting people to tight ends in the Chargers organization. So let's just convert this guy to tight end and give him a full go and see what happens. I think it's the more exciting and more fun move. But something in my gut tells me that Trey McKitty is going to be on the roster.
It very well could be. I can't remember. Was Trey
pick.
McKitty a Brandon Staley draft, or was he
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn? Okay.
This is year 3 for Trey.
Okay.
So it was Brandon Staley's first draft.
Okay, gotcha. So the year that we got Justin Herbert was the year we got Trey McKitty.
Justin was the previous year.
Justin
that's
won
right.
1 year under, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, it's late. All right. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, as a fan base, we really haven't seen much from McKitty at all. But Stone Smart has at least had a decent preseason. I know we can't put all our eggs in a preseason basket, but we will have to wait and see. But swipe of visuals, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mr. Pekar, who asked the question. For once in a long time, we get news on Monday for the CC gang. Cameron, the 3-legged kicker, Dicker, obviously wins the kicker battle, sending D-Hop to the Browns. Oh, boy. Dustin, thank you for your kicks. We wish you the best. Also, props to Kevin for making the call several weeks ago. Anywho, with the cuts looming, let me know your picks for the following. Oh, boy. Who do you think will be a surprise cut? Who do you think will be a surprise to make the 53-man? Family, trust, respect. Bolt the f*** up. Can't love you. Bye.
Oh boy. Good
Oh
request.
boy.
And thank you. I knew it was, I had a feeling. I told you that Dicker was the guy. I had a feeling. I
don't think we
screamed it from the
necessarily
mountaintops.
disagreed with you, Kevin. I think we just wanted to
Hear me say Dicker over and over again?
no necessarily that. I'm like with Kyle.
Let's
It's
just
like,
remember, I think it's always good to go back and remember when Kevin really wanted to as our quarterback, and that was his pick. And so anytime he makes a pick, we just got to remember where he started from. Because Tua would have been the starting quarterback of the Chargers.
okay.
And I have a Wheaties box. signed by
There
Pack
it
that
is.
shit up. Get out of here with that.
One an episode.
We'll see.
All right. So surprise cuts and surprise
Max Duggan.
makes.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Well, we already knew that.
I know.
I think is it Jared Clark? I think the nose tackle. I think he's probably going to make this roster. I don't know why. He just played so well in this preseason, and he's just so goddamn strong. Like I think he'd be a great addition to that D lineman room. I think he's the one that probably out of all the free agents that came in, I think he has a good shot.
That's fair. Let's see. I'm kind of leaning towards Doss, but man, that wide receiver room is so heavy. I can't imagine that we hold on to. I mean, because you've already got Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer.
Jalen Guyton technically doesn't count anymore. Or does he count as an active roster spot even though he's on the PUP list? Does he still have to take a spot?
I don't think an active spot. No.
So he's not a part of the 53.
Not initially. I mean, after that 4 weeks, he could become.
They'll add him, and then they'll have
to
53. Bump whoever that 53rd man is when he's activated.
I mean, you got Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnston, Darius Davis for sure, Jalen Guyton at least on the PUP list. So I mean, you could see Doss potentially at least hanging around for a little bit before Jalen Guyton or until Jalen Guyton gets back and holding on to 6.
It doesn't seem like the 4 running backs to jump over a little bit. Do you think we're going to carry 4, especially with not having a third quarterback this year, even though Dotson does return kicks as well?
I don't think so. I think Dotson will end up on the practice squad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that. I didn't see him on anywhere else. I guess on special teams that gives you that little bit is these last guys that make the roster, the surprise guys are guys that had great special teams performances.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anyone stood out enough from what I saw to be like, oh yeah, that guy for sure like sealed his spot on the team. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the surprise. I think if Stone Smart makes the squad, the 53, I think that's shocking. So I think I double back down on what the last question was, and Trey McKitty getting cut and Stone Smart making the team. That's kind of my surprise cut and keep.
Good with that.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah. God, there's so many guys here. It's going to be crazy.
It's brutal. Tomorrow's going to be
that's a lot
day.
Of people to cut.
There's so many guys, that are going to get cut.
Day.
Go 90 down to 53. That's almost half the team getting cut.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Or waived, I should say.
Energy.
Wave. Smile and wave, boys. Sorry, smile and wave. All right. Well, Mr. Pekar, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to House of Hain, who asked the question. I'll say, sorry, gentlemen. I've been gone a while, but I'm back for the new season. I mean, I was never gone per se. I say, still download every one of the pods. Man, I hope the run game is as good as Mama's cornbread this year as it was in the preseason. What say you? FTR and bolt up.
I think if we can get this run game going, I think that'll make Justin even better. Mm-hmm. Like he'll have some stellar games if we can really keep these defenses honest and really have to kind of load that box up a little bit. And then Justin can just destroy the secondary.
Right.
So I really hope, and it feels like this is the scheme. All these players were on our team last year and weren't having performances like this. I feel like we're on a one-way ticket to getting some really good stuff with Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm. Big time. I mean, and not even just from the running back room, the amount of times that we've seen Easton Stick and Max Duggan running in these games sometimes felt like that was the design, was for them to 100%. Run.
Yeah, so, no, Max Duggan there was pulls being made for him to follow. They were designed quarterback runs.
They didn't feel like I can't find anybody to throw to, so I'm just going to run. It felt like that was the design from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I think all of those years that we've been pining for more runs from Justin Herbert, because I know that Justin can run just as good, if not better, than Easton Stick or Max Duggan.
He's quick
as well and makes big strides because he's a big boy. I think we could see some crazy runs from the quarterback this year, probably more rushing yards this year than we have in any previous season.
Yeah, if you look at that last game, I think our Easton Stick and Max had 75, 80 yards,
top rushers.
Like so that's, I think, very likely.
So I'm excited for that for sure. I mean, obviously the running backs need to be able to run better. And now with Kellen Moore running the offense, I think we are definitely going to see some pretty big runs this season. If the preseason is any indication, at least, we're going to see some considerably more rushing yards than we have in the past.
I think Austin is probably going to get a big contract somewhere else because of this season.
After this
season, I
think
Austin Eckler is going to be an easy 1,000-yard rusher if he can stay healthy, and it's going to be dangerous.
I'm excited. House of Hain, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mr. Bolt, who asked the question.
Check back.
Any concerns with the tight end department and starters on the roster? Parham and Everett can catch, but both are not great blockers for the run game. Could hurt us down the stretch, don't you think?
And certified fresh, my apologies.
There it was.
Oh god.
Always NRA game here at the Charger Chat. All right. So Parham and Everett not being great blockers. I don't know if I necessarily feel that way.
That's not their forte.
I wouldn't say it's their forte.
They're not blocking tight ends by any means. They're not George Kittle out there laughing while they're blocking people. So that's kind of what he's getting at, is that they don't enjoy blocking, and they're definitely, I don't think that they're an asset in the running game. I think they can get in there and mix it up to create just a change of pace where it's like, oh, Everett's in the game, they're going to throw. So he has to be able to block a little bit to catch him off a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, injuries could catch you. Like, a lot of them not being able to could catch up with you down the road. So with our offense, I would rather have tight ends that can catch the ball. And they get creative with Xander Horvath and
that's exactly what I was
linebacker
say.
or whatever tight end that you have in there that you do feel the most confident with. I think you can make do. It's a lot about scheming with the strength that you have instead of wishing you had something. You had a Travis Kelce or a number one tight end in the NFL. Instead, you got to make do with what you got. So if Kellen Moore can't get creative enough to figure out the best way to use those tight ends, then it could come back to hurt us.
He seems to be doing okay so far, at least from what we've accomplished in these first 3 preseason games.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if the offensive line can hold up and, the starters can stay healthy for the bulk of the season, I mean, those are just more targets for Justin Herbert. And again, makes you question, like, who is he going to throw to? Is he going for a wide receiver? Is he going for a tight end? Is he going for a running back? Like
Horvath.
Or Horvath. Like, I mean, those are all options for him now. And having another set of hands out there that can catch a ball and, do even just little chip blocks or something like that, I think is always going to be helpful. So I don't think it'll hurt us at all, Mr. Bolt, but thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to the K-Man, who asked the question.
Who will Kellen Moore have up in the booth to relay details back to him in case he misses something or asks for a quick opinion? And how do the players feel about having him on the sideline versus in the booth a la Lombardi? Thanks. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. I think it's exciting that he's going to be calling plays from the sideline. And then I think Newsmeyer, it seems like he's on the sideline with him too, to work with the guys hands-on. So I don't think he's up in the booth. But they have a lot of quality control guys on the staff. I don't remember all their names, but there's a lot of guys that can, help give you a lay of the land. You did that for a little while, Kyle, when you weren't head coaching, but just hopped up there and gave him a different insight.
Yeah, a lot of the times the guys up there, they're telling, like, the Kellen Moore will be like, hey, this is what I want you to track. This is what I want you to look at every play. And you're just relaying information. You're not up there giving opinion. You're just spitting out facts that you see up there that he can't see down on the field. So it's not a matter of I need someone up there to tell me what to do. It's just I need these details and these statistics that you can only get from up there. So relay that information to me, and then I can still make the decisions on the field. So I don't know who's up there. I don't know if it matters a huge amount. Yeah. I don't know if it matters a giant amount. They just got to be able to do what Kellen asked them to do ahead of time.
Yeah. And having him on the sideline is just going to give a new energy, I think, to these players.
It changes the vibe. Like you can feel from your players what's going on, what they want to do. You can have that conversation real quick. Coordinator.
There's also just a matter of relationship. Like that's a big thing of Coach Staley's whole philosophy and identity of the organization is that, like, we know our players and we have, like, relationship with them. We know what they're going through, and you can't have that when you're sitting up in the booth. So I don't understand how Lombardi got away with being up there, to be honest.
It's an honest opinion for sure. And to see, if I'm a player and I make a good play and I get on the sideline and I see my coach over there, hyping me up, patting me on the back, telling me good job, that's going to add an extra level of energy to this team that we haven't had in the previous season. So we're all excited for it.
It's a young staff. A lot of energy is going to be there. So, you see how they get hyped up at practices. So more of that's a good thing. Keep it going.
100%. So K-Man, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mickey Coates, who asked the question. So which one of you is going to cop the Chargers WWE Champs belt.
I saw this. It looks so rad.
Yeah, for those that haven't seen, this is like a WWE champion belt, but
official
it is
like leather.
Yeah.
I just looked it up online. It's $550.
That's the thing that I was going to say. It's like, it's half a grand. So I don't know if we're going to be competent.
I don't feel good like having that unless we do
until you've won.
It. Like if we win it all this year, I might have to consider looking at something like that for the man cave. Yeah, for sure.
Well, there you go, Mickey. I think the answer is Kevin. Is Kevin be the one?
Kevin is definitely the most likely to buy something like this. I think that's not even up for debate.
I can't argue it at all.
No,
that's absolutely something I would buy.
So yeah, if he keeps winning at the craps table, I think he might buy 2 or 3.
I hit 10 again, 25 on 10. That pays for this whole belt if I would have allocated it properly.
Yeah, it is a beaut for sure. I mean, just the powder blue, the bolts all over it, the helmet, like it is just a thing of beauty. And if we can make it all the way to the end there, I think Kevin's bank account might be $500 lighter.
Probably. And I think I have a feeling we're going to see this at Thunder Alley that first game.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Somebody will have it.
One of our fellow Charger fans has already bought this and it's ready to go for
1,000%.
Well, I just looked online. It says there's only 9 left. So there's plenty of people that bought it already.
Well, there you go.
Oh, shit. I'm kind of stressed now. What if I can't get one?
There's only 9 left, Kevin.
How did you just salesman me? You just, yeah.
Hey, it also is only 3 payments of $139 of zip on
that. That just made it so much easier to swallow. What a pill that was.
All right. Well, there you go, Mickey. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Boltville 714, who asked the question.
Is Deion Henley the next Eric Weddle? Oh, you guys doing fantasy league this year? I'll tell you, we are. So, if so, any tips on how you guys go about drafting running back or wide receiver first? Can't love you, bye.
You willing to give up your strategy?
The thing is, I don't have one. I've tried it all different ways.
Yeah,
I've even gone.
It doesn't matter. You still don't win.
I still doesn't matter. I running backs is hard for me to go first round because they are so generally get hurt. I always have a running back that's hurt.
It's true.
So wide receivers makes a little more sense for me. They're not quite as prone to getting beat up as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather put my money into that because honestly, every running back I've ever drafted in the first round has been out for at least part of the season.
Christian McCaffrey several times.
I've done that several times.
Yeah.
And I've been punished.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So
Christian McCaffrey.
But if Justin Herbert's available in the first round wherever I'm picking, I'm just taking him because I want
for funsies.
Yeah, I get to be extra excited when he scores huge touchdowns.
Big time.
Yeah.
He will not be there in our draft unless you're picking.
You're the one picking first.
And if I'm picking one, everyone's going to think I rigged it. So I'm
100%. So even if you randomize it and you end up on top,
I'm recording.
Do it again, my guy.
I'm recording the randomizer on video. So
doesn't matter.
Can see that
if you end up
cheating.
at first, you better do it again. Yeah, boy, running backs. I mean, especially on teams that are like running back heavy. Makes sense because like they get the yardage, especially if you can get like a running back that like also like catches like kickoff returns and stuff like that. Cause that's just,
we got some sneaky scoring for our league.
Yeah. So, sure. I kind of lean towards running backs, getting them a little bit more. I understand the idea of like injury.
How many running backs do you have on a team? Really? Like a lot of teams have one guy that's their guy. You have 3 to 4 wide receivers that are getting an even share.
The committee aspect of the NFL has changed my fantasy running back selections a little bit. Because like you could grab somebody off the waiver wire week 1 who came out of absolutely nowhere, and he can win you your league. So I'm kind of I just gave away everything I'm doing. Shit.
All right. Well, there you go. Boltville 7.
And his actual question, Deion Henley, is he the next Eric Weddle?
But what do you mean by is he the next Eric Weddle? Like,
they're different. Yeah.
A lot of people have different opinions on Eric Weddle.
Well, and they're different positions too, aren't they?
Yeah. Eric Weddle was a safety.
But the thing is, Deion really gets into coverage well. So I don't know. They're just totally different guys. I think Eric Weddle
good at football. Then yeah.
Because
we kind of had bad taste in our mouth after Eric Weddle slammed us forever and was super not fun. So
I mean, when he played, he was amazing.
He's a good football player.
Loved having him on the team. So if that's the comparison, that he's a good football player like Eric Weddle, sign me up.
Just don't talk shit on us, Deion. That's all we need.
Yeah. And grow an awesome beard too. Wouldn't hurt you.
I don't like beards in a helmet, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
It's weird when they're like
uncomfortable.
Yeah. It looks weird.
It hurts.
I like it. I'm all
Somebody should just cut this part out. Leave the rest of it. Just cut this part out.
Just the chin strap, so the helmet fits.
Just a big bald.
We're just gonna start a new trend.
It's like the Friar Padre, but opposite.
but on your chin.
It's your chin.
Just. All right. Bolt Hill 714. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to OM Run, who asked the question.
What are we going to do without All In this year? Those were the best. Maybe they took that All In to hospital meme from last year a tad personally.
I swear that I saw that they announced All In, like the scheduled dates and everything like that. I thought we talked about it. Like,
I got to look this up. I got to get to the bottom of the shit because that's like my favorite thing.
But I did try to find on like their website, like what was the schedule, and I can't find anything about it. I swear they announced that it was going to be coming back. So I don't know. Kevin's sleuthing right now.
I'm Xing right now.
He's Xing. But I don't think they took anything personally. I think having All In,
just the way they shot, like that's the scene with Antonio Gates.
Yeah, they're
still shooting it the same way. It's still like I do not feel like
it's not Megan hanging in the back with the cell phone camera or something like that.
No, they're still documenting.
There's production value happening in the offices.
But did I miss the announcement that we're not getting All In?
I just Google searched it and I didn't see anything saying that we weren't.
I didn't see anything saying that we weren't, but I didn't see anything saying that we were.
We were.
So
you're telling me
I'm going to stay shamelessly positive and say that it's coming, baby. Just got to sit tight. I bet you this week prior to week 1, we're going to see something drop. You look like your dad right now, trying to like change the clock on a VC.
Huh? How do I get this thing to work? And they still have an All In button on the Chargers page.
I know.
Well, then they have to. Come on, they would have gotten.
But it's old. It's series premiere.
That's what I'm saying. Like I tried to find something that said when it was going to be dropping, and
I'm worried. This doesn't seem good.
But you just said like they still have production value going on. Like they wouldn't have just done it for that Antonio Gates thing, right?
Maybe.
Right?
Oh, it better have All In. I love All In.
Kevin looks really worried right now.
I am. I didn't know this was a thing. Sound like such a baby.
But I think it's coming. I think we'll see it next week. That's my bold prediction. We'll see All In next week. First episode, or at least an announcement, something.
Okay.
So OM Run. I think we're going to be okay. But thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Athair Kadir.
Athair?
Who asked the question? WoolDog, my baby! 3 things Chargers need to do week 1. First, commit to the run early. Herbert, take deep shot early. Second, defense, get off the field and keep their asses from scoring TDs early, baby. Lastly, third quarter, put up 10 of 14. I got the Bolts winning 27-13. FTR, let's hear it, baby.
It's got to do everything, all the good stuff early.
Baby.
Just don't wait to do the good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that was Am I remembering that correctly? Like third quarter last year, we like couldn't score.
Dude, I just saw it on social media. Like the Broncos scored 41 points in their last preseason game.
Yeah.
They scored 0 in the third quarter.
Really?
Guess who's their OC? Lombardi. He cannot score in the third quarter. It's impossible. He scored 41 points and 0 in the third quarter.
Wow.
He's just late getting back to his booth. He's getting a hot dog or something after halftime. Takes a long time to get up there.
He's still in the bathroom. They're like, somebody call a play.
Radios it in. It's too echoey, Lombardi. We can't hear you.
I'm not getting a good signal. Yes, I agree that the Chargers definitely need to like at least show that they can perform in the third quarter comparatively to last year. But taking care of business early. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Do it.
Please, Athir.
Don't wait. Right. What are we waiting for? Get points on the board. Stop them from scoring early. I'm all for it.
Block them, tackle them.
Yeah.
Turn the ball over.
Yeah, let's get some turnovers, baby.
Early, baby.
Early, baby. Awesome. We're with you, Athir. Thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with FN Dooley, who asked the question. Chargers backups versus 49ers starters, at least for part of the game. Josh Kelly, 70-plus yard touchdown, 267 yards of rushing. Feels like we're living in some kind of alternate reality, but come on. 38 yards of passing. Weren't we supposed to see what some of these receivers had to offer? Kind of hard to make any predictions from this game. Am I the only one that thinks most, if not all of those decisions are already made? So here is my question. Vic Fangio is the new defensive coordinator in Miami. Brandon Staley served as an assistant for Fangio and is touted as being from the Fangio coaching tree. They signed Jalen Ramsey in the offseason. Justin threw for 367 yards against them last year and embarrassed Tua. We only ran for 82 yards, though. So I want to hear your projections for passing and rushing yardage against the Dolphins in Week 1. I know it's a little early in the game prediction. Personally, I think Staley put it on McDaniel last year, and there were not a lot of games I would have said Staley outcoached the opponent, but he did in this one, and we went on a tear. Beat the Dolphins, then the Titans, Colts, and Rams. Just the opposite happened to the Dolphins, losing to us, then the Bills, Packers, and Patriots. I think these boys are going to see this as a revenge game. I think Fangio is going to want to whip his protege. I'll go first. Justin goes for 313 and 2 touchdowns, and the run game is good for 112 and 1 touchdown. Know you boys are shamelessly positive, and I love you for it. This year should be mighty entertaining. Hold on, boys. Here we go. FTC.
Let's go, Dooley.
Gonna be entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah.
Interesting points, though, as far as like Vic Fangio being the defensive coordinator and Staley kind of learning under that
philosophies, tree. Yeah. Similar.
So, I mean, as far as your question is on the prediction of yardage and touchdowns for passing and running, I mean, I can't disagree too much with what you put out there, FN Dooley. I don't think it'd be any less than what you predicted. If anything, I'm going
to tag one more TD on that. I'm going to go, he's going to throw for over 300, but it's going to be 3 touchdowns.
One more touchdown? Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're going to have 112 yards and like maybe right around there. It's going to be over 100 for sure.
Yeah.
And one touch, but who knows? We've been running for 200 yards every preseason game, so hopefully they can pick up where that shit left off.
Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of switch it. I think Justin's gonna throw for 260, 250 yards because the running game is gonna be an emphasis. I think we run for 160, throw for 250. I think we have 2 and 2 rushing and 2 throwing.
I
like that.
I think it's interesting that has been the talk as far as like the focusing on the running, when the whole quote from McCarthy when he was with Dallas was like, Kellen wanted to throw the ball too damn much. I wanted to run the ball. And now all of a sudden we're seeing all of these these runs from running backs and seeing some high rushing yards. I think it's kind of like Kellen Moore going like, no, I know how to run the ball, dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to
I know football.
I want to win. All right.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be more passing yardage and touchdowns. I think the yardage and the touchdowns is probably right where it should be. That's not to say that a running back won't catch a pass from Justin and score a touchdown. I think that's always a possibility, but I think the receiving yardage or the passing yardage is going to be higher. I'm going to go like 350, something like that.
Nice.
Oh, Justin comes out slinging.
Has to. I think this first game, I think he has to be able to show who he is, why he earned this contract, why we have Kellen Moore in the offensive coordinating position, and just come out and again
embarrass Tua.
The taste of that last game, I think, is still going to be in their mouths. It's hard for it not to be, and they got to go out and show like, no, we belong, and this is what we are. This is our identity now. I think we're going to come out in that first game and see an identity of this team that we haven't seen in previous years. Now with Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator, that's my thoughts.
Very well thought out, and you conveyed the information very well, and I support you.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much. FN Dooley, thank you for asking the question, and thank you everybody for asking questions. And Ask Boltfam, we greatly appreciate it. It makes this show what it is. But that's going to do it for this episode of Charger Chat. Join us this Friday for the second episode of the week for the Charger Chat podcast. But until then, any final thoughts there, gentlemen?
I'm so ready for this. I can't wait. I can't believe it's finally here. And we're going to be on an airplane in like 10 days, flying out to see Kyle, gonna steal that box of cereal, and it's just going to be so much fun.
Yeah, seeing everybody out there at Thunder Alley it's been too long. It's been
I can't wait. I just can't wait to go see everybody.
Yeah, can't wait to be there. Can't wait to see y'all. And I think that's going to do it for this episode of Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up, because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Oh, hi. It's me, WoolDog. You may know me as the co-host of Charger Chat, but did you also know I have a side business? Being blessed with such a large, voluptuous beard, I felt the need to start a side business for those of you that aren't as lucky. That's why I started WoolDog's Beard Toupees. Can't grow a beard? Want to keep one, but the chin strap on your helmet really irritates it, so you keep that little spot on the end of your chin shaved and need something to cover it up at fancy dinner parties? Then stop by WoolDog's Beard Toupees and we'll get you fitted. WoolDog's Beard Toupees. There's probably a better name for it, but I gotta get this episode out.